Welcome back to TNT's Blues Corner. This is episode 16. This is my Gibson Les Paul, which is a 1960s reissue, and I believe it's from 2000. Memory serves me right, that's when I bought it. I have different pickups in here as I explained in the previous video, which was the clean of this. Today we're going to be doing a dirty with the AC booster from Xotic Effects. I've got a Seymour Duncan PAF Seth Lover signature, and I've got a also a Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates. So here's the clean sound through my Super Reverb. And here's the dirty sound. And I'm kicking my AC booster with my Chuck Taylors today. Anyway, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with this rhythm here pickup. I've got all the knobs turned all the way up. I might back them off a little bit so we can see how maybe it cleans up a bit. Maybe do a little test here how well the AC booster cleans up. But basically what I'm going to do is just let you hear this guitar with a little bit of dirt on it. Anybody was wondering, I play with Ernie Ball's 10 set, not too heavy, not too light in my opinion. This I could probably go to 11s on. I believe my SG has an 11s. If you hear a bit of a reverb in here, I don't believe I have much. I have like an on 2, but I'm in a very big room here, and there's nothing on the wall still, even after 2 years in here. My plan is to put some things on the wall to kind of dampen it out, because it's lovely for nice reverb in a room, but if you want a really tight sound, you really can't get it in here. So it does add a little bit of reverb to the video. Well, this guitar is really smoking today. So you can soften up your touch, you know, you can play. Jimmy Page was known greatly for that, is that light and shade that he had, and he did a lot of that with his picking approach. I believe he's a very light picker anyway, but you can definitely hear the difference. And him, like myself and other people who have played the Gibson line of guitars, there's a lot of controls down here. See, all these 4 controls. But there's all kinds of different sounds you can get out of these just by very small changes in the range. If you have good pots, if you have good Gibson potentiometers, if you have an Epiphone Les Paul, in my opinion, I would say to go get you some nice, I think CTS pots or something that has a better sweep. And I would try to buy them and match them. You know, if you have a 500K pot, and look for ones that are in a similar range. So you want to measure those, and maybe you're going to have all 496K or something like that. Or it might be 490 and 496. Whatever it happens to be, try to match, pair your your sets. You know, you might like something on the low side, maybe a 490 to 494 or something like that for your neck. Maybe you'll like that sound, and then you might want to five something or something for your bridge. Play around with these things, especially if you have the opportunity to do so. That's kind of what I've done in the past, not with this guitar, but with others. Now, I do have in this guitar, and I'm not going to take the back off to show you right now, but what I have in there is a set of 50s from the 1950s capacitors. And they're not Black Beauties, but they're the other ones, and it's slipping my mind now what they are. But they're nice caps. Buy everywhere on the internet. Sometimes you get them and the leads are really small, and that's what happened to me. And I had to build my own lead with solder, and you got to be very careful with that because you can burn up the capacitor if you get it too hot. But I think I've been able to do it fairly well, and I'm able to get some fairly good sounds. Now, in a distorted range, you're not going to hear them as much. Hear how that kind of dulled a little bit and isn't as bright here. And then I turn it up. I know when I play this out, if I'm playing it out or I'm playing it live with somebody, I like to really mess around with the tone to get that perfect sound when I'm playing. But for this, we're just going to balls to the wall. We're going to have them all the way up. So there's the rhythm. Now we're going to go to the middle. For those of you that might have just joined us or you wasn't paying attention, I'm playing through an AC booster by Xotic Effects with my 1960s reissue Les Paul from 2000. And now we're in the middle position. Oh yeah, there we go. That sounds right. I tried this earlier on another guitar. It just didn't work. Anyway, a little bit of Zeppelin there for you, just a little piece. Not note for note, but that's not how I do it. It's funny though how sometimes a song it'll be easier for you to play when the guitar sounds somewhat like what you remember hearing. It's kind of weird that way. I was playing it early on a Strat with a mid boost, and I just didn't feel it, and it just wasn't coming out right. But this guitar feels right. Yeah, I haven't been playing Gibsons at all over the last few years, and it's interesting to come back to this radius, and the strings are a little closer together because of the scale length, a little bit different than a Stratocaster, but having that radius. You get those big Jimmy Page bends. Or maybe Albert King bends. Anyway, this is a great guitar. If you run across one of these and the pickups have been changed, one thing I don't like about this guitar, or didn't like about it when it was new, it served its purpose at the time because I was playing heavier stuff, but it had the ceramic pickups in it. I think it was a 498 and a 500T. And it was just a little too fizzy and thin type distortion, so that's why I eventually changed them out to fit my style more as it changed a bit. I'm sure this would sound even better with a set of original PAFs, or maybe some scatterbrain, or I don't know. There's thousands of pickup, well, not thousands, but there's tons of pickup manufacturers out there that are doing a PAF style guitar. There's Steven Designs, I think. There's some of the more name brand, of course. You've got DiMarzio, and you've got Seymour Duncan. And the reason why I have a Seymour Duncan in here, because it's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as getting some of the guys that wire by hand. But Seymour, he has good quality control, and his pickups normally sound about the same across the range. I've had some duds over the years, but they're very good with their customer service, and as long as you send them back, they'll refund or send you another pickup. So let's move on down to the neck pickup. We got them all up here on 10. Playing good today. A little bit of that pearly gates coming out, eh? So here it is, my 2000 1960s classic Les Paul. Beautiful top in a plain sense. It's not a figured maple or any of that jazz. It's just a nice maple top. Has some depth to it when you see it in the light, when you're in person. I don't know if it'll come out, I'm getting some sun here now, maybe you can see some of it. But it's got a very thin finish, nitrocellulose, I believe. Of course, the back is finished, which I don't really like, and I've thought about sanding this down. I probably will one day. But this guitar is starting to age nice. It's drying out a bit. It's getting a little bit lighter, and it's starting to play better every year. And that's what I like about Gibsons. I think that's why they hold their value. Fenders are the same way. You buy a Paul Reed Smith or an Ibanez, typically, unless they're an older Ibanez, the values pretty much drop off, almost like a car when you drive it off the lot. But a Fender or Gibson, they'll come around and they'll stay the same. I mean, I paid $1,300 for this in 2001, and I could easily get that or more out of it now on eBay, just selling it. Or if I held out, I could probably get $1,800 for it or more. Depending on the buyer, of course, but I'm not going to sell this guitar. But that's why I like to buy as many Gibsons and Fenders as I can when I have the opportunity, because I know they're going to hold their value. Okay, so I'm going to play you out here, and I'll see you next time.